gospel pericope we heard this past Sunday is the story of the talents. And I'd like to start with a little financial information. No, I am not a financial planner. I just play one on TV. But recently, we've seen how the economy is at the mercy of factors beyond any individual's control. We've seen how fragile our investments can be, and we've seen how much time and effort goes into this fragile, earthly financial system. Today's lesson shows us characteristics of a different kind of investment. You might call them supernatural investments, a solid fund whose dividends are paid only partly in this life and mostly in the next, where they will flourish forever. And the question for us is, how much time and effort have we been using to manage these supernatural investments? Let me explain a little bit. The average interest rate in the United States for a basic savings account is 0.05%. That means if you put $5,000 in a savings account tomorrow, come next year, it will have earned a whopping 50 cents. We have no way of knowing what the interest rate was for the rattled servant in Sunday's gospel. But if the master was the one suggesting that he put it in the bank, even that 0.05% would have been enough. And if you factor in the Lord's mercy, his expectations for us are surprisingly reasonable. It's not a high bar. Jesus, the master, just wants us to make a sincere effort. He doesn't even need the interest. He just wants to give us an opportunity to work with him, not only for our profit, but for society as a whole. The gospel says that the master gives us, the servants, his possessions. What are his possessions? His love, his compassion, his humbleness, his mercy, his forgiveness, his self-giving, plus all the other things that we have in this life. They're all gifts from God. That's what the talents imply. All the abilities and blessings that we've received. They're not ours. God has given them to us. And we're free to either squander our gifts, burying them in holes of self-indulgence or laziness or fear or greed, or to use them as Christ would have us use them, as he himself used them for others, which is the secret to happiness in this life and the life to come. So this week, take stock of the talents you've received from our Lord and ask him to show you how to invest them the best. What are your blessings or traits or talents that God's given you? Do you use any of them to help build the master's kingdom? If the master is so upset in today's parable, it's because it's so easy to use our talents to bear even a little fruit that not doing so is negligence in his eyes. But if our accounting is in order, there'll be no need for us to worry about that final audit.